I, female 29, am a huge nerd and bookworm, so my book collection is rather impressive. However, my boyfriend of 3 years, David, 32, and I have just moved in together, which is proving to be more challenging than I originally thought. As mentioned above, my book collection is rather large, but he never mentioned anything about it, and the books will be in my office anyway. I work from home. However, there is a slight issue he has always had that he only now mentioned. I was raised trilingual, and I learned English later in life as well. So technically I speak 4 languages, with English being my weakest, so I apologize for any mistakes. Because of that, my book collection is rather diverse, including books in all 4 languages. If I can, I prefer to read in the language it was originally written in, and only reach for translations if I don't speak the language. This has never been a problem, and David never mentioned anything about this until now. He was helping me unpack the books, and I noticed that he put all the non-English books in a separate pile. I asked him about that, and he said we didn't need them and to throw them away. I said that you never throw books away, you donate them instead, but I didn't plan on getting rid of any of my books. He argued that it was pointless to keep books not in English, as they only take up space and they're only for show, and no one but me even reads them. I told him they're my books. I could consider downsizing my collection if it was a space issue, but since we have the space and they're in my office, I'm not getting rid of them. He got really annoyed, so I told him that I didn't need his help anymore. Yesterday, I went for coffee with a friend, and when I got home, I found my bookshelves mostly empty, with some candles and figurines placed where my books used to be. I asked David where my books were, and he told me it was a surprise, and I came home too early. His mother helped him get rid of all my useless books. He bagged them up, put them in his car, and was about to take them to the skip. I was absolutely furious, and he told me I could always replace them with books in English. I grabbed all my books and went to my office. I installed a lock on my office door so he can't throw them away, but I'm so very confused about all of this. Then to top it off, his sisters called me, one of them screaming her head off because I'm an inconsiderate C-word and to get off my high horse and stop pretending I'm better than everyone else. Am I the idiot here? Am I really wrong about not wanting to get rid of my books? Wow, he threw away your books? Even though he knew you wanted them, even though you had plenty of room for them, and he didn't even have to look at them since they were in your office, because they made him feel inadequate since they were in languages he couldn't read? Oh, and he involved his mother. Girl, tell him to move out immediately. This relationship is absolutely over. Remember that abusers often use big milestones like moving in, getting married, or pregnancy to escalate the abuse. This is just the first step of many he'll take in asserting control over you. Get out now before it gets really bad, and it's already really bad. Absolutely. Keep the books, throw away the boyfriend. The idea that he'd surprise you by throwing away your treasured possessions is just mind-boggling. If you had vinyl, would he tell you that streaming is just fine and throw that away for you? Or will he decide that there's no reason to vacation anywhere, that they don't speak English? This guy and his family seem like a poor match for you. Do you really want to combine households with someone so clueless about what matters to you? Who made him king? Why does he think that he can just take your stuff? And what qualifies him to decide which books to keep and which to toss? You are underreacting. Get away from this man and his family. Do you really want to be permanently connected to a family who will steal and dispose of your belongings behind your back? Imagine raising a child with this man and his busybody mother and sister. Awful. Get out while you can. The lock on your door won't change who you live with. It honestly baffles me that you even have to consider if you're the idiot. Your boyfriend and his sister are clearly jealous and are upset that you're trilingual. I might be stretching here, but it could also be a case of internalized prejudice against certain languages or races. I think you should seriously consider the option of separation. It'll only get worse. Dump him and find someone who wants you to shine. My girlfriend, 26, and I, 29 male, recently moved to a new city for a great career opportunity for me. When I got the job, I asked her if she wanted to move to the new city with me, and she agreed. She quit her job to come with me, and I told her I could support us while she looked for a new job. She said that she also wanted to focus on finishing a book she's been working on while looking for a job at the same time. We moved here about 6 months ago. I have a 10-year-old dog that I've had since college. He's a smaller dog, only about 25 pounds. Since my girlfriend is at home during the day, she takes him for walks. On one of her walks, she met a single mom, Beth, and they quickly became friends. I was pleased that my girlfriend was able to find someone to make the new city more comfortable for her. Last Saturday, my girlfriend took my dog to Beth's house while I was working on a home improvement project. She was there for 3 to 4 hours. Early Sunday morning, my dog began to act weird. I asked my girlfriend if anything had happened at Beth's house the day before, like if he had eaten anything he shouldn't have. My girlfriend called Beth, and Beth confirmed that she didn't see my dog eat anything. I asked my girlfriend to ask Beth if she had given her kids grapes as a snack while my dog was there. I saw my girlfriend's face turn white on the phone. After she hung up, she said that Beth had given her kids grapes as snacks, and her preschooler told her they were playing a game with the dog and giving him grapes. They have no idea how many my dog ate. I immediately took my dog to the emergency vet. They started treatment immediately, but wanted to keep him for observation. He needed to stay for over 48 hours, but he'll live. Unfortunately, there's still a very high possibility that he'll have lifelong complications because no one knows how many grapes he had. The total bill is almost $5,000. I told my girlfriend that I want her and/or Beth to either cover the cost or help with it. She said that Beth is a single mom, and she's not going to ask her to help pay for such a huge bill. She also said that she doesn't have that kind of money because she has yet to find a job. I told her that it's time she gets a job ASAP then. She started making excuses about how the kids didn't know what they were doing, so it really was just an accident. I told her that if she and Beth had been watching my dog and the kids, then this wouldn't have happened. And since they were the two adults in this situation, it's on them to properly supervise the kids and dog. She said it's unreasonable for me to expect Beth to pay so much for an accident. I told her that if my dog had injured one of Beth's kids, then obviously I would be expected to help pay for any costs related to that. So I don't see how this is any different. She's refusing to even ask Beth to pay and is begging me not to confront Beth about it on my own because she doesn't want to lose her only friend here. Not the idiot. Your girlfriend should have been more aware of the dangerous issues when she decided to take your dog out. The dog was in her care. You're headed for trouble if you told your girlfriend that you would cover her expenses while she looks for a job, and she told you that she wanted to write a book before that. And now she says she can't pitch in to fix a problem that she's responsible for. The red flags are waving like crazy here. Dude, you're unlikely to get either one of them to pay. You don't say how long you've been with this woman, but her initial mishandling of your dog and her reaction to the event afterward is pretty bad. The money would only be one of my concerns. I would definitely insist that she and Beth go halfsies. Disagree. You are the idiot if you expect Beth to pay. It was your girlfriend's responsibility to take care of your dog. It was not Beth's responsibility. Your girlfriend brought the dog to a home with a young child and then ignored the dog. Beth shouldn't be held responsible for your girlfriend's negligence. The real question is, would you rather pay $5,000 or lose your girlfriend? Mooching girlfriend can't even watch your dog properly. There's no job search. You're being taken advantage of. Take a step back and think about the outcome of this. She does not intend to get a job or pay her way. My ex, 39 male, and I, 40 female, share a son, 20. We divorced when our son was 5 because my ex came out to me as gay. Right after our divorce, my ex became an absent parent for the next 6 years of my son's life. It wasn't until he settled down with his current husband that he became a way better person and an amazing father to our son, having him 50% of the time and taking care of him. Even if my ex forgot about our son for 6 years, his parents didn't. They disowned their son but still wanted to be a part of my son's life. They are wealthy, so my son never missed anything in his life. They even contributed to my son's college and are paying for his apartment and expenses, so he doesn't worry about finding a part-time job. They got him every type of toy from ages 3 to 10. Those were expensive and amazing toys for a child. My son was so careful as a child, so the toys are as good as new. They're all packed and saved in a room at my house, waiting for my future grandkids to play with their dad's old toys. Here's the thing. My ex married this man and had kids. The twins are toddlers, and my ex called to say that he wanted to pick up some of my son's old toys to give to his kids. I had to call my son to see if he was okay with this, and he told me that he didn't really care and I could do what I wanted with the toys. So I told my ex that I decided to keep them for our future grandchildren because they're the ones who have the right to possess what their dad once owned. He called me a jerk for not letting his kids have the toys, since my son doesn't really care much about them, and there are kids around who can play with them, and this was also a way to connect with their big brother. I mean, I think I'd be the idiot if they couldn't afford it, but come on. Ex's husband is a dermatologist, and ex is an engineer, so they can afford toys. My husband thinks I'm an idiot for. The only reason is that they're unused now, and some other kids could be playing. But there's also a chance these kids are not as careful as my son and can get them broken. Not the idiot, but your ex is. He's an amazing father? Are you kidding? Amazing father? Suddenly he remembers he has a kid after 6 years? He dumped his kid for 6 years and then came back. That doesn't make him anything but an incredible idiot. Then he's mad at you for not giving him toys that clearly don't belong to him, and he probably didn't pay a dime since he abandoned you and your child. Don't care if he came out as gay. Has nothing to do with how he treated your son. Don't think twice about what he thinks of you. Don't give him anything. His new kids are his responsibility, not yours. The ex seems like a total idiot, and an entitled one at that. Notice in the post that he called OP and informed her he would be picking up the toys. He didn't even have the decency to ask his son first, or be polite about it. Then he called her a jerk for not giving in to his demands. That's verbal abuse. It seems like he thinks the world revolves around him. He's probably just bitter that his parents cut him off financially when he abandoned his first family. I'm male 38, have a lot of tattoos. It's just something I like. My mom hates each and every one. My mom, 61, loves me, and I love her. She does, however, have the most annoying hobby in the world. She loves asking me questions that I cannot answer. For example, this summer, I went to my cousin's, female 24, wedding. I haven't seen my cousin in 7 years. I live in a different state. But she asked me how my cousin met her fiancé. I literally only knew about the wedding because my mom told me. I'll tell my mom that my son, Tween, is out at a friend's house for the night. She'll ask me where my son's friend's parents went to school. Those aren't even the most extreme examples. The worst was when she asked me how my sister got pregnant since she and her husband were using birth control. Like, how would I know? So I told her if she kept asking me questions like that, I would tattoo the words "no sé" on my forearm. That's Spanish for I don't know. Well, she asked about my brother-in-law's shoe size a week ago, so I saw her today, and my arm had the Sanoderm on it from a fresh tattoo. So she shuddered, crossed herself, and asked what I defiled my body with now. So I showed her. She got upset and called me a shameless idiot. And now she's mad at me for desecrating my body to make a childish point and embarrass her. I told her hundreds of times to stop asking me questions that I had no way of answering. She said she was just making conversation. I think she finally gets the point, but my dad called me and said I was an idiot for permanently marking my body to make my mom think before asking me a question. Am I the idiot? Honestly, you are missing great opportunities to make stuff up. Cousin's shoe size, I think it's a 15. I believe he has to custom order them from that same place that makes clown shoes. Somewhere in Missouri, I think. Not the idiot for the sheer commitment to the punchline. Bravo. Yes, ridiculous questions deserve ridiculous answers. How did the cousin meet his wife? Crazy story. She was riding in the roller coaster that hit him. It was love at first sight. So romantic. How'd sis get pregnant? Apparently, brother-in-law's liable to knock up anyone within a foot of him. Though I want to offer just one serious line. I'm sorry I upset you this much, Mom. That wasn't my intent, but it's just really frustrating and disheartening when you ask me questions I can't possibly know the answer to. I love you, Mom, you know I do. And I love talking with you, which becomes difficult to do with these questions. So can we talk about stuff we can talk about? I really like our conversations. Or something like that anyway. You are the idiot, OP. She's just making conversation with you. I also wouldn't take your mom's questioning as something she can necessarily control. Some people truly do talk without thinking, and while certainly annoying, they're not trying to be in most cases. I have an older coworker who is similar, but I suck it up and try not to call her out on it. I, 19 male, work as a mechanic, and our uniform is a set of blue pants and a blue shirt, but our company's name is on the side, and it's white with green accents, and I have a white lanyard for keys and stuff, and the lanyard part hangs out of my pocket. As for the story, I was recently invited to a family friend's wedding that I was kind of forced to go to, and during the reception, I got a call from a coworker asking if I could come in a little earlier than I was planning to make up for him. He's made shifts up for me several times before, so not only did I owe him, I didn't really want to be there anyway. So I quickly changed, told the groom, the family friend, and he thanked me for coming, and I left. His wife did look a little mad or annoyed at me, but I had to go, so I didn't really care. Later, I got a text from my sister telling me I made the bride angry and that she was mad and I was wearing white. I was confused and said that the patch was the only white part. She said that the bride said the lanyard was too. I said that I had just said bye to the groom and wasn't there for very long and that it was so small. She said that the rest of them were mad at me, and I did get a quite strongly worded message from the bride later. I told her she was ridiculous, as there was such little white it shouldn't matter at all, and it was just at a reception. She told me that I was being ridiculous and that some other family members and friends were siding with her since it was her wedding day. I'm starting to think I'm an idiot since the invites did say no white very specifically. I guess I could have changed in my car or anywhere else after leaving, or I could have apologized to try and soothe the situation. Am I the idiot? OMG, not the idiot. Tell Bridezilla to get over herself. What you were wearing is no comparison to wearing white to someone else's wedding. Not even a little bit. Maybe she was stressed. Maybe she was just a Bridezilla, or probably both. But you did absolutely nothing wrong, and anyone else who agrees with her is just as ridiculous as she is. But he outshone her in his white patch and white lanyard. How could anyone possibly tell that she was the bride at the wedding and the focus of the happy event when OP dares to take attention away from her in his glamorous work overalls and lanyard? Wow, dude, you must have been really pretty for people to mistake you for a bride. I wonder if she'd be mad at me for wearing my very white skin to her wedding. A male with a white patch and a lanyard being mistaken for the bride? Unless we're missing out on some vital information, i.e. the lanyard was a diamante-encrusted 8-foot lace veil with the majority of it attached to your head and only a tiny corner tucked into your pocket as you processioned out of the room humming "Here Comes the Bride," I think there is a strong possibility that she was being a complete idiot.